All right, this is the late morning, straying into the afternoon of Saturday, June 14th in Medford, Oregon. Several thousand people gathered along McAndrews Road, one of the highest traffic parts of the city, to take part in the national No Kings protest movement. My crew and I were, of course, all over this event, using the huge gathering as an opportunity to connect with community members about the issues facing American society today. Once again, one of the biggest topics was immigration, and we'll hear from some members of Southern Oregon's Hispanic community about how recent developments have been impacting them. We'll also explore ideas about what makes a protest effective, with some tension between protest organizers who want peaceful demonstrations and more revolutionary activists who see value in being disruptive. And of course, no protest this size would be complete without some opposition, in this case, supporters of President Trump. We'll hear from them too. Enough said, let's just dive in. Are you recording, Trip? Look at this, we ran into Jane Vaughn. So we've got public radio here, public TV's here.
Collaborating?
A little bit. We're looking for the organizer together right now. This is big, there's a lot of people here.
There really is, yeah.
Last time we did 4,000 at the Hands Off. We're hoping to double it to 8,000.
Wow.
We'll see what ends up happening.
The Hands Off protest, I think, was the biggest protest I'd seen since 2020 at that point, and now this is definitely already, I think, exceeding that.
ORD2 and the Women's March and 5051 have organized this event as part of a nationwide effort happening in every state, in thousands of cities, and also some other countries to have a No Kings event. We're here because Donald Trump and the GOP and white Christian nationalists are flooding the zone with their illegal acts and immoral acts in an effort to distract us from the fact that they're trying to take away the power from we the people. So we the people are here to flood the streets, to show them that we are the ones in a democracy that have the power and that we are not going to let them take the power away from us.
I feel like we're here because we should not be afraid of our government. We should not be afraid of our military. We should not be afraid of our police. They're supposed to be protecting and defending us. Instead, we are afraid that they're going to snatch us, detain us, deport us, throw us down and put handcuffs on us like they did a U.S. Senator this week, and somehow make it a crime to speak out against your government, which is guaranteed by the Constitution.
And we're here because we're not going to put up with this stuff anymore. This is so un-American. We're going to take back our country, we're going to take back our flag, and we're going to go to the ideals that our country was founded on.
I want to make sure that I have a good place to grow up, and then the next future generations have a good place to grow up. So just trying to advocate for that. Fighting for our rights, no kings.
Every kids movie, every school and class, everything we were taught up to this point teaches us to rise against this. This is what America is about. It's what it's always been about, and we're representing here today.
We're just here to remind people that liberty and justice are for all, because currently it seems like it's just for some.
And I'm here to support my people. I'm not agree with what ICE is doing now, and they're hard workers. That's the reason that I'm here for. Fighting for their rights, fighting for my rights. This is America. We immigrate to work, and we're gonna fight for our rights.
Coming out here is technically my first protest. Super excited, because Donald Trump and everything that he's done to this country.
I'm here because I hate fascism, and we're kind of living in a fascist dictatorship right now, which is like not chill.
Let's go, Trump, support your president. He's your president. He's your president. He's your president. He's your president. No peace.
I'm a Christian, but also a Trump supporter, so my intention, which I've done a little bit of, is to talk to people about the issues at hand in addition to my faith. So, and just have civil conversations. I wasn't here to argue abusively or anything like that.
No kings in USA. No kings in USA. No kings in USA.
It is Donald Trump's birthday. He's holding a massive military parade that's estimated to cost $45 million. Cleaning up the streets, all the damage to the streets is going to cost $16 million, and those are just estimates, so it could even be more. And we want to send the message that this is not a dictatorship. He is not a king.
My name is Stephen Jensen. I live in Ashland, Oregon. I've lived there since 1972. I got out of the Army in 1970 because I served a year in Vietnam, and that's why I'm wearing what I'm wearing today as a counter protest to the charade, military parade that we've got going on in Washington, D.C.
Trump does not even honor the veterans, or the GOP is not supporting them. And Trump calls them, our veterans suckers and losers. And this is to tell him, no, this is what America really is. And this is us. This is the people uprising and letting their voices be heard, because that is our constitutional right. And we need to do it as long as we can and as long as it takes.
Sound like your chainsaw. I think you might make a good interview.
He would be great for that.
Yeah?
I don't know if I would, but hey, if it sucks, you don't have to air it, right?
That's right. I mean, yeah, and it probably won't. Everyone says that. You'd be surprised.
And I'm from New Jersey, and I grew up with Trump, so I knew what a piece of shit he was. Can I say that?
Yes, you can. Yeah.
Of course, we all remember seeing Elon Musk on stage with Donald Trump with a chainsaw.
Right.
And I just said, well, if I get this shirt, I have to mimic him, and this is what you get.
I worked for the government, and this is not the government I worked for.
I was an educator for over 30 years, and I really believe in the importance of educating the youngest children and putting the money to do it. It saves us so much in the long run.
The ICE detention centers and the mass deportation that is going on, the fight on women's rights. I work at a women's health center, so seeing that just really hurts my soul. It sucks to have less rights than generations before us. If I don't show up, then who am I as an American? I want to be able to tell my future kids one day that I was on the right side.
I am here because we are not okay with the way things are right now, and our voices deserve to be heard.
Yeah, what do you think of this giant turnout today in Medford? I mean, this is a big protest for this city.
Yeah, it is so exciting to see, especially in Medford, of all places, like the turnout, and it feels so empowering to know we're not alone, and we have all of these people saying the same thing, that we are not okay with what's happening, and we're not going to stand for it.
I've been feeling the way I feel for a long time. I've just been feeling it even harder, even more lately. The things that are going on right now with the deportations and the rioting, sending in Marines against American citizens, suppressing people's right to vote, it's frankly disgusting. It's un-American. It's a co-opting of what makes our country great, which is freedom for everyone, even the marginalized, especially the marginalized. All this illegal bullshit, no one's illegal on stolen land. And America ain't being run by the Native Americans.
I'm here to support, not just our people, but support our country. Hopes, that we can all be united and there can be justice for everyone.
Trump is so emotionally tarnished from his childhood for having abusive parents who neglected him, and his, in a very much way, his abusive father. They never showed him love, so now he doesn't know how to love. So all he knows is hate. So that's all he knows how to spew. And of course, him and everything that he stands for.
What I'm witnessing in our country is just the saddest thing I've ever witnessed. I have older sisters. I remember them going through the Vietnam stuff. I watch my grandbabies and I truly wonder, really, what kind of America are they going to face? They're facing it now. And so I'm going to do this to help them get America back to what it should be, which is equality for all. Immigrants, everyone. We welcome everyone, no matter what color, gender, it doesn't matter. I want my kids to live in a peaceful, happy place. So, anyways, I'm here. My first protest ever.
We are putting capitalism over life. It's no joke that we have what's going on right now with everyone rallying behind one person, no matter your political affiliation. No one can deny that money and profit should not be put over human life, and that is what we are stuck living under. Shareholder value, having more value than your father, your brother, your mother, your son. Their life means less than some billionaire becoming even richer. This is what we're suffering under. This is what we're fighting against. The yoke of capitalism and the oppression of the working class by a billionaire ruling elite who probably are all in the Epstein files.
So we're here today to say that we don't support fascism. We're here to counter fascism because currently Trump is instilling himself as a dictator in our country, deporting people, kidnapping people, furthering the genocide in Gaza, sending more money, more weapons into Palestine, giving Israel more money, while here at home, they're kidnapping family members. They're kidnapping our neighbors. We need to show our government that we outnumber them, that no matter how much they want to try to suppress us and want to kill us and want to kidnap us, we will always fight back.
One of the reasons that we come out to these things so often is because we all have to start somewhere, right? I've said this before, a lot of people start with holding signs, they start with, seeing this for the first time, and we try to come out and be the conversation that starts something more. Like I've said this before, go talk to a homeless person, talk to someone on the street that maybe you would have never talked to before. Consider doing something after the protest. That's one of the biggest reasons that we're so consistent with these things, because protests are important, but what's really important is the community that comes out of it. Obviously, we have a large Hispanic community here in Southern Oregon, all over the West Coast, and it's important now more than ever to talk to your community members and build relationships so that everyone is safe.
You guys had mentioned a couple different things, but there's a lot that's been happening in recent however many months. Are there particular things that you're angry about or protesting that the administration has done?
That's a day-by-day answer. Truly, something's happening every single day. You're angry about one thing one day and you wake up the next and you find out, for example, this morning that 2 state legislators in Minnesota have been shot in their homes. It's like every day there's a whole new outrage, and I think that's part of the strategy by Trump and his administration is to hit us with everything all at once, and so we don't know which way to go. So that's why these type of protests are so important, because collectively we can say all of it. We don't like any of it, and at this point we won't stand for it anymore.
The Trump administration is trying to escalate things by claiming that they were needed in Los Angeles when they weren't, and they are escalating things by bringing in the military, violating the Posse Comitatus Act, and using the military against citizens, which is illegal. George Washington, our first president, refused to do that, and Donald Trump should refuse to do that too. It's not about keeping anyone safe or saving any federal buildings. It's about escalating the situation so they can use more force, and it's about suppressing the voice of the people and any opposition to their fascist plan.
When every day there's a new mess of events that would impeach any other president in history, I think it's time to yell. You can call out the violation of the Emoluments Act for the bribery of the Qatari jets. You can call out the ICE detention and the resistance against due process. You can also call out the fact that he's gone against Congress in almost every week of his presidency to try to get around the budget restraints that they're supposed to put on him. Every day there's a new event, and it should make us all mad. The fact that the only thing keeping most people against him is the fact that they hate another person, that's what's wrong. It's supposed to be about love, and that's what we're doing here today, is teaching people that we do love America, and this is what it was supposed to be from the beginning.
More than walls, I got to go now! We're in a free country! This is America! I'm an immigrant, but now I'm, pretty soon I'm gonna be an American citizen. I immigrate here to make my dream to come true. And this country supported me a lot. That's why, and I know a lot of people is gonna fight for that, because all my people has the right to have a better life. That's the reason we emigrate. And not only Mexicans, it's from Chile, Venezuela, Guatemala, Honduras. They're hard workers. They're people that is irrepressible. Because what? They're hard workers, and nobody wants to go to do their job. So that's why I'm here, to fight for them.
Electing the bad guys make a big, devastating consequences. Not only in the livelihood for every single one, but the entire world. We are a mess, and we're not going to get well because of the poor decision. The economy is based on immigrants, especially in agriculture, construction, and now he's taking away those people that the labor force is going to devastate the economy. This is the reason I'm here, to say we are here. We're not going nowhere.
So our organization is UNITE, and we work a lot with farm workers and immigrants and supporting farm workers and immigrants in the Valley. The reason that we're here is to stop the ICE raids, to stop blatant discrimination against people of color.
I live here in Medford. This is my community, has been my community for the last over 30 years. I am here because I want to support my people, and not only just my people, but those that are not able to have a voice, they're not able to speak for themselves. Those people that are immigrant. At one point, I was an illegal alien. I was brought into this country as a child. I did not have a choice. But I have become a person that has been successful, that has been able to really embrace the American dream. And so I've always have felt that, people that come over to come into this country, there's a reason why they're here. They're pursuing a better life. They're bettering themselves. Why not be supportive? Everyone that is here, whether you're legal or illegal, you're paying taxes. The benefit to the ones that are illegal, well, it's not even a benefit, but once they leave, where are those taxes going? They're not going to be able to collect Social Security. They're not going to be able to get any benefit from it. So why is the big push? Now Donald Trump has mentioned that, now like the farm workers are okay. They're good people. They've been, employed for 20 years. These are good people. Now we're no longer criminals. They're all good people. So which one is it? So I'm here because I want to continue to support my community, and I'm a true believer of making this kind of protest. It's going to create a change, even if it's just a tiny little bit, but we're here to support one another.
I'm here to say ICE and Donald Trump. This is bullshit. We got to stand up for our rights.
ICE has been here, has always been here. They have a local office here in Medford as well. The office is closed, supposedly, so people who have to go for ICE check-ins, so there's like people who are still without status that have to check in monthly or sometimes every quarterly at ICE. Well, now they have to go to Portland because it's supposedly more efficient. So what we're seeing is in the courts, the immigration attorneys are asking the judge to dismiss cases, especially related to asylum. They're asking them to dismiss cases early, and then when the people leave the courtroom, then they're detaining them. So ICE is detaining them in the courtroom. There's an office in Eugene as well, and they've been picking up quite a few people out of the Eugene office too. We're part of a couple of signal channels, and so we get the updates every day, and it's really pretty disheartening.
Everything is related because we're so international now. We can able to relate because everything happened in China, it's happening in Mexico, happening in Brazil. It's affect us. Everything happened over here, it affect them. This is why, because it's so international now with the trade agreement, and this is the people have to think. We cannot able to believe someone who is a real estate going to lower the rent. Oh Lord, they are in charge of the bank. They're never going to lower the mortgage because they overthink how to make money, know how to give benefit to the people. This is the only thing we have to think a lot.
The largest employer in Jackson County, I think, is one of the largest employers, is Harry and David. If we don't have pairs, we don't have workers that can come in and pick the fruit and things, then all of those businesses will basically kind of have to fold. And so, because it's one of the largest employers, then that not only will affect like the immigrant workers who are coming in, but will also affect the whole community in general, because they won't be able to get the donations, they won't be able to have sponsorships, and a lot of the people who are typically like low-income workers that get jobs, like temp jobs at Bear Creek or Harry and David during the winter, all those jobs will be gone.
I'm first-generation Latina student-athlete here in the United States. I just came to show my pride not only for my country, the U.S., but also for my people back home in Mexico. My parents came here as proud, hardworking immigrants with nothing to their name. Came here for a better life for me and my family, and so I'm just forever grateful for that, and I'm here representing that.
Nice. Yeah, do you have friends and family who are also immigrants to this country or maybe like impacted by some of Trump's policies recently?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's kind of a disgrace, to see what our country has come to. Obviously, I'm a big believer in Christ, and we're taught to love one another, and so seeing this is kind of heartbreaking, but seeing all these people out here, speaking for people that are not able to speak today has been really, really good to see.
My people is very scared what is happening now, but we have rights, and that's why we're here. They have to check their records, and I know a lot of good people are here. We're not criminals. What is happening in Mexico is not us. In Mexico also, we have a really good people living in our country. This is all political.
He's not us.
There's a lot of fear. There's a lot of fear, and especially now that they took away the sanctuary spots in the schools, people are really afraid to go out. There were a couple really negative Facebook posts just a couple days ago that Medford police was calling people and telling them to, whatever, but and Medford police, thank God, they posted something like 11 o'clock that night saying this is absolutely false. All this information about us calling people to tell them about race is false. But that really stirred up a lot of fear, a lot of fear. I mean, there was even one family whose daughter was living in Eugene, and so he got the daughter's number and called the daughter because she was crying unconsolably because ICE was going to come pick up her parents down here. So it's just little things like that have such a huge impact on people's the trauma that people are experiencing.
I have family members that never acquire naturalization. They're just lawful permanent residents. Even though they're legal, they're in fear to go to the store, to go anywhere, because at this point, it feels like anyone can be taken away. So we do have people that are undocumented and they're almost in hiding. So why do we have to live under these circumstances? These are people, again, that continue to contribute to this economy, to support, their law-abiding citizens. So why are we doing this? Why is it all of a sudden, a threat?
Honestly, it makes me really sad. I can't imagine being in the positions where people are being taken away from their family members. Just the hate and the crime, and it saddens me a lot.
Do you guys know people who are in that situation of being very impacted by these policies that Trump is instituting?
Yes, not me personally, but I do have family members who have friends who are unfortunately going through that at the moment. And once again, I cannot even think or even imagine the idea of not being able to have either my parents with me or my children, or just being separated from the loved ones, and for people that are here to do good, that are here to work, that are not here to cause anybody problems, it makes me really sad to see that.
Victor, anything you want to add, throw in there?
I'm just here to support, from them separating the families apart, it's heartbreaking to see that. Nobody's safe to even go to work or come out. Everyone's scared, but we're here together trying to prove something.
President Ronald Reagan opened the door for my family to be able to become legal status, but I got my legal status because I married an American citizen. So that's how I was able to obtain it. And so, there's been a lot of really great presidents out there that are Republicans that have done so much great for this country. This current administration that we have on board, he has promised so many things and none of them have really come to fruition. So, I don't understand, what is it that his ultimate goal would be. So get rid of all the immigrants. That means himself, his wife, everyone needs to get out of here and leave it back to the original state, which was the Native Americans.
El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido.
I have been watching Donald Trump since 2016, watching a pattern, and I'm thinking this is getting more and more serious. And when the ICE deportation started, I just cannot believe that's happening in our country. I cannot believe that's happening, the way they're treating people. You cannot deny that he's profiling. He is profiling by the color of someone's skin, and I don't even know if he's asking questions. Take people and ask later. I don't know if he's even asking that. He's just taking people, and I thought, no, this is frightening because it'll be one group today. Tomorrow it'll be a religious group. Next month it could be a sexual orientation group. No, not going to have it.
A few months ago, we saw that Donald Trump's face was imposed into the Pope when they were seeking the new Pope. He loved putting himself up there as possibly the Pope. Well, is he a king? Yeah, if he's a king, then yeah, I'm the Pope. Right. He's not either. Get him out, get him out, get him out. So we speak with all kinds of love and brotherhood, and we want we the people to be speaking louder than these crazy folks that are making things happen that are bad in our country. So, out with DJT. No kings, no kings, no.
Hands off our Constitution! Hands off our Constitution! take you. You guys will take you. Can I get an amen? Can I get an amen? I love you. All right, you guys know this. Because of you, Mr. Cameraman, I want to go on HBO. Because of you, because of all of you are patriots. You're patriots.
And this is Us As We Are. So you mentioned that this is your first protest?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so I think that's probably a lot of people's situation out here, because I'm going to say this is probably the largest protest I've witnessed in Medford in 5 years of doing journalism here.
Cool.
So this is a big one.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? I mean, you could probably speak to this since it's your first. What was it that really put it over the edge for you that you're like, all right, now is the time. I want to come out and I want to protest?
The fact that I feel scared and angry and powerless all at the same goddamn time. So what better way to come out and flex my First Amendment rights right here in my country that I live, god.
This is a very big protest. You picked a good one to go to as your first one. This is exemplary. But what do you think of it? What have you seen? What have you felt while you're out here? What has the feeling for you been as a first-timer at a protest like this?
Well, I've been reading on YouTube different clips and things, and I started getting a little bit intimidated about the danger. But then people kept saying, we can't let fear rule us. We got to push forward. And so I thought, I'm going to do this. I came around the corner this morning, and the minute I saw people carrying signs, I thought, okay, I can do this. And it really has been encouraging. I've seen a few cars go by that had a few profanities towards us, but that was it. It has been mostly high energy and positive, and I love all the signs. They're making a lot of bad things come out of like the LA stuff, and it is bad. But that's such a small amount of, instigators and troublemakers compared to the people that really want to have peace and unity. So I think we need to showcase that more, just how much good there is.
But I'm here to show solidarity. It's wonderful to see all these folks out here. I think it's going to make a difference. I really believe it's going to make a difference.
Not to sound like a bummer question, what is the goal? What do you hope will happen? This protest is not going to remove Trump from office. So what is your goal? Like, what do you hope happens as a result of this protest? Either one of you.
We want Donald Trump and the GOP and white Christian nationalists to stop using executive orders to bypass the will of the people and bypass the democratic process. We want them to run things through Congress like they should. We want senators and representatives to have the chance to represent we the people.
Yeah, we also believe that it's important for people to have a space to come out and safely say that this is not okay, that we do not support what they are doing, and they need to hear that there is a percentage of people, a very large percentage of people that disagree with what's happening in Washington, D.C. right now and across the country, including L.A. We're giving people an opportunity to be here as a collective, as thousands of people come together and collectively lift our voices and say, this is not okay.
Yeah, what do you think of the efficacy of a protest, in terms of how that makes a difference? How do you see that going? What kind of influence can a protest have?
Well, number one, it really has to stay peaceful. The people that get violent don't do us any good at all. And this is obviously very peaceful. It's got to stay peaceful, but it's also part of the First Amendment. And anything we can do to secure that in a peaceful way is a good thing. Some of the signs are just totally creative and funny, but also tragic at the same time that has come this far.
I think the efficacy of protest depends on the turnout of the people. If we can get this many people and this many numbers in a pretty red conservative area in the Rogue Valley, I think that speaks a lot to how many people are fed up and sick and tired of seeing what's been happening in this country and wanting to stand up and do something against it. Will it make a lasting difference? I don't know, but it sends a message, and that's what we're here to do. Tell the people in power we're not happy and they have no right to do what they've been doing, and we don't stand for it.
Protests are the only way we're going to change anything, and making sure that we're not complicit in all of the violence that's happening around the world, and sharing that we're not going to be quiet about it, and we're going to keep showing up and doing all of these things and then some to make sure it ends.
If people are sitting back relaxing and not doing anything, it will get worse. Our democracy's at risk, we all know that, and we're hoping that when people get out and get together like this all over the country, we're going to see some action by the Republicans in our Congress, because they need to know that this is going on and we don't agree with them.
It's honestly inspiring to see so many different people, different ages, different races. Everybody's out here to show their support, and that's what's important.
Yeah, and I mean, we're America, we're built on diversity. And after seeing the things that happen in LA, I went to the hands-off protest that just happened like a month ago, and we just got to keep coming out and making it happen.
Social media algorithms serve us increasingly extreme content, which leads us to increasingly extreme beliefs. And I feel like we have more in common than not with those in other parties and with other political beliefs. And I think, we need to have deep conversations with the people around us and come to a compromise around the issues that we're advocating for.
And with that in mind, what do you think of this protest today?
I think it's great that everyone is out there advocating for what they believe in. I've seen a lot of cross-issue discussions, which I think is really important, because if we're siloed as a society around specific issues, we won't have the capacity to be able to navigate the complexities of how all of these come together.
Yeah, I think it's great for people to come out here and use their voice and speak on what they believe in. That's obviously a part of our First Amendment right, and so I think it's really great that people are out here exercising that and just being peaceful protesters.
I hope that our voice, makes a difference. I feel like more so now than ever, we should be united. We're all one, and color, race, religion, whatever it is, shouldn't have to be something that should divide us. It should be something that together we can even make it stronger if we work together.
Yeah, and in that vein, how do you feel about the turnout today? There's a good couple thousand people here.
Definitely. I think it's amazing. I think it's better than what I expected, to be quite honest with you. And I'm so grateful that everybody's here and we're all doing our job, and voicing our freedom, So very happy about that.
This protest is going on all around the country, and I think that he has no choice but to see us. There's strength in numbers and showing everybody that we are here and we need to show up.
I think with a lot of the information that's being put out around the protests all over the country and making it look like it's a violent approach, this is just showing you that all around the country it's designed to be peaceful. It just happens to be on the same day that our tax dollars are going towards a military birthday party for a wannabe king.
Everyone is coming together to make a peaceful protest. There's no need for violence. That's not necessary. It's not a good thing. Nobody wants violence. Demonstrations in LA were largely peaceful with a few incidents, and they have used that as an excuse to try and bring in the military and to escalate things. We were confident that we have a good relationship with the police. We consult them before all of our events and make a plan together for how things are going to happen, how they're going to respond, how we're going to contact them if something comes up. So we weren't nervous at all. And you'll see there aren't a bunch of police walking around trying to push anybody around like the military is doing in LA. We're not going to have any problems. And if we do, we can call the police in to take care of it.
Out at these protests, people have an opportunity to meet other people, to create connections. Like Sam said, build community. There is a lot of incidents at these protests of people policing others' behavior, of people being like, you're being too disruptive, you're being too loud, you shouldn't be aggressive. But we're facing fascism. There's genocides happening all over the world that are being funded by our tax dollars. And currently, there is a genocide being committed in the United States, as it has historically always been the case against indigenous people, against black people. We need to keep showing up and taking direct action. We need to use a diversity of tactics, including blocking streets, creating barricades, stopping ICE from doing the they're doing, because that is fascism. We are seeing it take place in front of our eyes, on our phones, and none of us are free until all of us are free. We need to keep fighting. We cannot rest until we have the abolition of oppression, an abolition of cops, of ICE, of the US government, of capitalism. We cannot stop until we get that. None of us can be free until then.
I think if you walk down the sidewalk, you're going to see a lot of families pushing strollers. You're going to see grandparents with grandchildren. You're going to see people just out trying to make their voice heard. And I think that's what it's all about today. Nobody wants to follow that up with action of any kind unless it's calling your congressman and calling the White House and making sure that your voice is heard in other ways. But we're all out here just to make sure our message is out there and that we're heard today. He is not a king.
One of the things that I do have an ethical dilemma about is signing people up with a list of their names and personal information, knowing fully well that they're already a target. If you come to one of these, you're going to be a target, whether it's a high risk, whether it's a low risk, whatever. I don't agree with that. And part of it also is when you come to events like this, Torin was saying policing is a big issue, not just with the actual police, but people protesting here. They'll try to protest or they'll try to police your actions. And something that we always try to push and tell people is these people are oppressed. The people that are here are out here because they are experiencing oppression, and they should be allowed to express that to their oppressor any way that they seem fit. It's just like when we protest the salt shakers as queer people, we are oppressed by Christo-fascists. It is our right to protest them in any way that seems fit. This protest was huge, massive, probably a couple thousand people here, a perfect opportunity for community, but also just in our little area where we were at most of the time, I got pulled around by people that were at the protest trying to tell me how I should protest. And that's not right. That is fascism. Telling people how to, express their freedom of speech is fascism. And we can't, just because you're holding a sign that says you hate Trump doesn't mean you're not acting like him.
Yeah, the folks from Indivisible and 5051 definitely, they had people in the orange vests, and we noticed a number of times, even just as we were going about our work, oh, don't cross the street right now, or, oh, don't get in front of the car. And there was sort of that, you're talking about, a policing of behavior. Are you sort of saying that, in some ways, the disruption that's caused by people being a little chaotic in the street, or there being a traffic jam, it's kind of the point of a protest, right?
Yeah. The entire point of doing a protest is to be disruptive. If you're just holding signs, being peaceful on the sidewalk, that's great for building community, for meeting new people, but it's not actually affecting anything in disrupting the systems of oppression and disrupting the status quo of the US government, of ICE, of the police. Just being a peaceful protester and condemning any other actions that aren't quote unquote peaceful is working with the oppressor. It's doing the cops' jobs for them, it's doing ICE's job for them, it's doing the government's job for them. And so when you go around and you tell people, don't get in the street, don't be loud, don't defend yourself when people come and attack you, that is oppression itself, and we shouldn't be doing the cops' jobs for them.
Nothing revolutionary ever happened from standing on the sidewalks with signs. And again, you might start there, but eventually you have to go somewhere else. Eventually we have to be loud, we have to be disruptive, because no one listens if you're standing on the sidewalks letting them go about their day. There's a reason that all of these other Republican or far-right organizations and states talk about Portland burning down in 2020. The reason that they talk about that is because people were in the streets blocking the roads. They were taking over downtown because they were experiencing oppression and showing up for it. And then of course it gets spun in the media that they're just rioting and destroying businesses, but it doesn't matter if buildings are being burned when people are dying in the street. Yeah.
There's a little bit of an encounter happening between some Trump supporters who have come in to the zone here. And it's getting kind of heated between Robin, who we met at the Avello protest, and these folks with the Trump sign, if you can see them. The guy with these two folks who have the American flag overalls.
Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong.
2 feet, man, that's it, 2 feet. You spit or spat on me, that's what fits.
Get away from us. I don't have to. Keep moving. I can drink. You're following. You're following them. Move on over. You're not moving on over anything. Move on over. You're not moving on over anything. Move on over. Do it. Move on over. There you go, sir.
Go somewhere! What are you talking about? Go somewhere! Let's go, Trump, support your president! He's your president! He's your president! He's your president! He's your president! No king! Support your president! No king! Support the Constitution! Follow us! Have them follow you! Let's go! Have them follow!
We're following.
I've been peaceful this whole time. I've gotten my flag ripped, my overalls ripped up, my car hit. My car probably has scratches all over it. And I've just been peaceful, just trying to show my support for my president. He supports everybody, and they should support him. That's it.
Why do you think the turnout today was so big? Usually we don't see this in Medford, but today very different.
It's I don't quite know. You know, I try to get some friends together to meet me out here. It's just me and my dad. My little brother was out here earlier, but yeah, I don't know. You know, we got to show our faces more and show that Oregon's not all blue. So
yeah, we're here actually just to support the blue. It's my birthday too. Happy birthday, Donald Trump.
Oh, it's your birthday as
yes,
well?
Sir.
It's not very many of the Trump supporting people, even though this is a primarily red county. Right. There's more people who voted for Trump here.
Sir, no disrespect, this is my son. And like I said, we're just asleep, guys. We already won. We're just here to let you guys know that we are here. We are here.
Well, I'm here kind of for the same reason I was at the last thing y'all interviewed me at. I'm an anarchist and a communist, and I don't like the fact that our government is being seized by fascist demagogues and weirdos.
There were two Trump supporter guys who were walking down the street. You guys got into a pretty, like a yelling match. You were singing Solidarity Forever. It was a wild scene.
Yeah, so first we noticed that they were like Trump counter protesters, and me and a group of people kind of went over to check out what was going on. And as they were going, I saw one of them slap up a couple of these stickers, which are for a local Nazi group, covering up the URL for their website, because it's putting that out there. But yeah, they put up two of those stickers, which we took down, and just kind of chased them out with a group of people, doing whatever we could to make them feel uncomfortable. I do sing a lot of folk songs. I mean, shouting them is terrible on the voice, but keep an eye out. The Nazis have been putting up stickers all over Medford, and they're out there. They're trying to recruit young people into their weird little Nazi cults. Don't let people fall for it. Fight fascism. Build community where you can. It's the only way to stop them.
Really standing up for your rights.
I already got my rights.
What's that? Your right to be a fascist? Yeah, you are. But I'm glad you're extending it. Look at that here. You're showing your fascism to the world. Extreme militarism. Extreme racism. That's what he's doing. 700 miles out there.
You built a wall around your mind, son.
My take on it is a lot of it is inflated. So some of the outrage, I think, has been inflated to get people riled up. I watch Fox News, and I also look at X, and I look at the compare and contrast. There was a lot of comments made by some of the national networks that was actually lies. It's like, oh yeah, it's mostly peaceful protests. When you have individuals, footage of bricks and broken up cinder blocks and damaged police vehicles. There was glass being broken. I saw one interview of a lady whose jewelry store was robbed completely. That has nothing to do with ICE. That had everything to do with opportunism. Criminals taking advantage of the chaos, which is what they did in Minneapolis during the 2020 riots. They want to do the same thing here. I see this today. There will probably be an attempt somewhere in the country of very similar activity being done to take advantage of the chaos. You're going to have criminals steal from stores, break into stores, hurt people. There will unfortunately be, more than likely, people be killed tonight because of that. And it's important to allow people to protest however they want to protest, so long as it is not libel and it's not slander. It's legal under the Bill of Rights. And I respect that, and that's why I want to be respectful while I was here, because I have zero interest in getting clocked, first of all, but also zero interest in getting into a argument that will not change their mind and will not change my mind. That makes no sense. It's a net negative rather than a net positive conversation. So.
And with that in mind, what do you think of this protest here in Medford today? At least what we've observed in our walking around, it's been pretty chill, pretty peaceful. Do you concur? What do you think of what you've seen?
Absolutely. I was very impressed. For example, I was easily able to walk from 7-Eleven, cross the street, go along the sidewalk with minimal interruptions. Nobody was pushing and shoving each other. I like that. It was very well done. I saw people with water. I saw people with snacks. It's nice. Very civil. So I very much appreciate that.
Has there been anything that Trump has done that you have not agreed with, or that have given you pause, or anything on that front, or has it been support all the way?
Yeah. Well, I'm certainly not a yes man. So there are some things that some things that he said that I disagree with, some things he said that's been brash or like exaggerations and things like that, and I don't appreciate that as a Christian. I still support him as my president, and I voted for him. But that's one of the things that if I were to have a conversation with him that I would like to address with them. Is like, look, listen to your faith advisors, listen to the teachings of Scripture, be sure that you don't exaggerate, be sure you do your best not to lie about anything. I can't necessarily tell you exactly like, okay, he lied here, he lied there, but he's human, and I know for a fact that probably under pressure he may have lied about a few things. I still support him, but I don't support those actions. I don't mind people speaking their mind. I would rather they be honest about what they feel, what they believe, because I'm going to be doing my best to be honest about what I feel, what I believe as well, and articulate that in a calm, respectful manner as much as I can. I'm not going to be perfect. I might get a little flustered or angry about certain things, but I haven't been today. Yeah, I haven't had any really big negative interactions, people cussing me out, etc. I definitely agree with the deportations of those that are illegal, especially recently illegal. And many of them, yes, they've made money. They sent money to Mexico. They sent money to Nicaragua, using the various means to do so to help their families. That's noble. It's not the right thing to cross over the Rio Grande or whatever, cross over the borders of our country illegally. So I support the deportations. I definitely support DOJ. I have enjoyed, frankly, all of the ridiculous things being cut. Part of the reason we have the debt that we have is because our elected officials, both Republican and Democrat, by the way, have been fleecing us by saying, oh, it's going to go to this, when DOJ has done the forensic research and shown that very little of that money that was supposed to go to Haiti, that was supposed to go to Uganda, that was supposed to go to ABC, actually went to those causes. They went to contractors who then laundered the money, and eventually a lot of that, at least a portion of it, I may not be an exaggerator, at least a portion of it went to Democrat causes, and some of it also to Republican causes. So that's not right, left or right of this political spectrum.
And then since you brought up the debt, this will be my last question. What do you think about the Big Beautiful Bill? That one has become really controversial, even in some Republican circles, because it's definitely like raising the debt. It's a big spending bill. Yeah. What were your thoughts on that?
Mostly positive, but somewhat mixed. So I don't like the AI. I noticed that Marjorie Taylor Greene posted on X that there is a provision in there for the states not to have basically any rights to regulate AI for 10 years. That's the wrong move. I think that was snuck in there. As for the spending, some of that spending is very necessary, my view. Increasing spending for ICE is important. Cutting EV mandates or tax credits are actually very good. Tax cuts themselves are going to be a net benefit, I feel. I mean, I'm not an economist, but I feel they would be a net benefit to this country because more companies, more businesses, especially small businesses, will be able to pay their employees more. You would be able to have aspiring entrepreneurs like myself to actually employ people because it's going to cost us less to employ people. So, because I want to employ, my dream would be to employ like over 1,000 people because I have a number of business ideas.
Everybody's cool. You guys can say what you want. Like, I support the right. I mean, I go to the protest and everything.
I think you guys, in terms of disruptive protests, are probably the masters of that in Southern Oregon. You've done, I think twice you've disrupted the Ron Wyden town halls, and then you also did Cliff Bentz at one point, or maybe a couple of different points, big disruptions that got noticed. Definitely had an impact.
Yeah, it's one of those things where we respond when it happens. So, we don't, as you probably know, we don't organize a lot of our own events because there's a lot of people with their voices that already need to be heard. Even people like here, like a lot of voices here are people who are immigrants, have various levels of documentation, and their voices deserve to be heard, and we're here to support. At the next thing, we're probably going to be there in a varying degree of support, whether that's holding a flag and, calling a fascist, or dancing and being really silly in front of the salt shakers. That's probably what Medford Pride is going to look like. It's at a new event space this year, and so we're probably going to have to figure out different tactics, but as they come, we will be there. Speaking to people who organize protests like this, you have such a huge opportunity to bring thousands of people together for a common cause that can actually do something. We were handing out flyers earlier today about what fascism is and how you can actively fight against it. Like I've said before, the first step in fighting fascism, imperialism, colonialism is making community. Build a community garden with your neighborhood. Go talk to your neighbor. Ask them to teach you their language. That is how we fight this. It's not, standing on the sidewalks and holding signs. There has to be more. So to the organizers of things like this, I would say do better and do more.
We were so happy that we have a safe environment here to have protests, and that we don't have people like the governor and sheriff of Florida who are talking about killing protesters and again escalating it and trying to make protesters afraid to come out, because nobody should be afraid to come out. We should all have the right to come out and protest.
I think this is an amazing day today. In fact, a lot of people were posting on social media, like, can we do dances, like line dances and chicken dances and conga lines and things like that. And so, this should be fun. If it isn't fun, I don't know why we're out here. It's a very serious cause, but at the same time, we want to make it so that everybody's having a good time and that they feel heard, and that this becomes a celebration of democracy.
I think in Eureka they're doing breakdancing.
Yeah, yeah, I know. We were trying to figure out how can't we do it like a line dance? I said, there's not enough space here, but a conga line we can do down the sidewalk, right?
I'm hoping that there's some voters' remorse out there. I would suspect maybe some of the folks here maybe voted differently than they're feeling right now, and the more the merrier.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's hard to get this many thousands of people together in Medford without probably having a couple of red voters.
Right. But, it's a good atmosphere here. We all want the same thing. We want discourse. We want reasonable solutions. Nobody wants the excesses that we have now. Even the folks that voted for them are kind of second guessing it. So even though they say they're not, I'm sure they're worried about it.
It's scary as a queer person. I walked out of my house this morning and my kid said, be careful, don't get shot today. And that's the world that we're living in right now. And so I think showing up in community and joy is an act of resistance in this time. And so we are still focused on community and bringing power. And we have Medford Pride coming up June 28th at Rogue X, 12 to 6. So we are just focusing on that and focusing on all of the joy that our community can bring.
We need to get these out of power. Other than that, what can we say?
We're with Southern Oregon PBS. We're at the station whoa, wow, hi!
I get really passionate about this, so I appreciate the opportunity to let me voice my opinion, and I hope something comes out of this. So I'm hopeful.
Wonderful. Hey, I really appreciate you sharing with us.
Independent journalism is what's going to save our nation. Not bought and paid for bigwigs like CNN or even MSNBC. Fox is corrupt, we know it. Might is mighty. One nation under God, in theory. Indivisible with liberty and justice for all. You, Trump.
We're here to fight for our rights, and we are the people, and this is America, not only Mexico, this is America. Everybody, we have the right, we're here to fight.
It's really good to talk to you.
If I made a mistake with my English, I'm so sorry.
No, your English is fantastic. I can't believe you said you didn't have good English.
I'm a little nervous.
it's funny to me because we see all this media of movies about rebellions of like Star Wars, the Hunger Games, and everyone's always on the side of the rebellion. But then when the rebellion actually happens, a bunch of liberals are like, well, that's too far, that's violent, don't fight back. Like we see that people doing that towards people in Gaza that are defending their homeland from invaders, from colonizers. We see that with people peace policing people in LA, telling them not to be violent, not to fight back against the people occupying their city. We see that all over, and that's part of occupation, that's part of colonialism, and we cannot have freedom until we kill the empire. Death to the empire.
All right, hey, really good to talk to you both. Always appreciate it, and always a pleasure. All right, hey, it's really good to talk to you, Eric and Terry. Always good to see you. Karen, really good to talk to you again. Thank you.
Sure, I'll see you again.
Oh, we probably will. Yeah, we're at all these things.
I'm so glad that you're here and you're doing the work.
Oh,
so
thank you. I appreciate you. Thanks for talking to me.
You're welcome.
Really good to meet you and talk to you.
Yeah. Thanks for showing up.
Absolutely. It's great to meet you. Thanks for talking.
Thank you, because they cut in the pound for you guys.
Yeah. We're working on it. We're gonna find our way, I hope. But yeah. Hey, thank you both. It was really good to talk to you. All right, thanks for talking to me, both of you.
I just want to thank you guys for being out here. Like I said, just getting exposure and getting the word out there, that's all we're about. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate talking to you both.
I'm happy that everybody's out here. I'm happy that it's happening nationwide, and I'm hoping that it will make a difference.
All right. Hey, thanks for talking to me. Appreciate it. It's really good to talk to you. Thanks for sharing your perspective.
Viva Mexico.
Awesome. Hey, really good to meet you. Appreciate it.
Nice to meet you guys. Thank you so much.
No, yeah, that's all. Donald Trump.
Oh yeah. Here, could we get a picture of you guys together?
Yeah.
Awesome. Sick.
Thank
All right.
you. So good to
Peyton,
see you again.
absolutely good to see you. Awesome. Good to talk to you. Hey, thank you so much for the conversation. Victor, good to see you. We'll see you back at the spot. These are our neighbors. And I barely recognize them at first because we always see them from so far away down in the yard where they live. So we're always waving. But yeah, really good to see you out here. Hey, it was really good to meet you. Oh, we don't have to shake hands. We can do the elbow. That'll work. Hey, really good to talk to you. Appreciate it, man. Sean, once again, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Robin. Really good talking to you again. Hey, good luck to you guys. Thanks for talking. Yeah, that's us as we are.
And are turned into vibration, which the brain translates into what we call sound. This is a new dimension in sound. This is love.